pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 15. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me is the icy blues of the desert, the former devil himself, Mr. Dan Singleton. What's up, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
If you're joining in for the very first time, then you should know that this is a show about the two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and whatever else we want to jabber about. You can get the show over on youtube.com/dandydigital or over on Spotify and iTunes by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital. Now let's go ahead and get in with the show. First things first, Crumble.
That's right, priorities.
Yeah.
Top of the show every time.
Yeah, buddy. So this week was actually interesting.
That's a word for it. I think that's your word for it.
Well, you were disappointed?
I found them middle of the road.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I suppose, but it's not a bad thing. You know, we can't all live on.
No, they weren't bad. They just weren't top 15.
They didn't break the top 5, and that's usually how I'm going to rate that. I don't know. What do you? Let's go ahead and get right into that. What were you? What was your favorite cookie for the week? We had
go ahead.
Now we had Funfetti milkshake, peanut butter brittle, brownie batter, and they don't
original
have,
featuring
original
golden Oreo.
featuring golden Oreo cookie pieces,
which was actually my favorite for the week.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the
that one was better than the original Oreo one that they had a couple months back.
For sure, better than the regular Oreo one.
Even though it seems very similar, it might just be the type, I'm going to go out and say it. Golden Oreos are my favorite Oreo over the original.
Wow. I don't think I've ever had a golden Oreo by itself, honestly. Not sure I have.
I'm sure you've, it's very similar to, those Lorna Doone cookies, I
like those.
Same basic concept. So, if you've had those, you've had essentially a golden Oreo. So I really like those. I think that the golden one is a little more refreshing than the chocolate, but I digress. So you had your favorite one was the golden Oreo.
It was. Yep. I will say that the Funfetti milkshake one cookie.
Surprising. That was my surprising one.
It very well could have had potential to crack top 5. If every bite was like the center of that cookie. Because so on that cookie,
right,
they do their usual frosting, and then they did a tiny little dollop of whipped cream right in the center.
Right.
Which for a milkshake, I want.
That's your favorite part.
Cream. I want whipped cream. Right. So if they had done a whipped cream frosting instead of their usual cream cheese frosting for that whole thing and made it a little creamier and a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
I think it may have cracked. It definitely would have probably cracked top 10. Probably would have been knocking on the door of number 5, but it wasn't, and they didn't. So I have it placed at, where did I put it on my overall? Number 24 all time.
Damn,
it really got knocked down. That one bite was the best bite of the week, but the overall cookie, I just couldn't put it up above the original featuring golden Oreo. Couldn't do it.
As much as I really love golden Oreo, Funfetti milkshake was my favorite. The reason being of how moist it was, the one that I had. It reminded me of those sugar cookies that you can get at the grocery store, where it's 6 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Kids take them to school for their birthdays and shit like that. Those are dry all the fucking time. So I was expecting that from this particular cookie. Because it was not dry, it scored some major points for me. I like the sprinkles. I'm one of those guys where it's like add a little sprinkles to a cupcake, makes it taste better. I felt this way, but I was skeptical because I thought it was going to be a dry cookie, and Crumble's not that type of place. So
their cookie game is high.
Right. So it pushed that up. I mean, it's not a top 5 for sure, but that was my favorite one for the week, followed closely by the Golden Oreo.
So my number 3. So Golden Oreo was my number 1. Funfetti Milkshake was number 2 for the week. Immediately following the milkshake on even my all-time list is the peanut butter brittle, number 25.
That's my last one.
It's your last one.
I'm not a brittle type person. I don't know what it is.
I thought the texture was nice, like the contrasting texture and the crunch with the softness of the rest of the cookie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and I like peanut butter in general, so that was very good.
I really like peanut butter cookies. The brittle is just, I don't know. I don't like that kind of stuff. Same thing with like toffee. It's the same sort of feeling, same sort of, I don't want to say taste because it's not the same taste, but same, texture, I guess, for that. So I've actually, I ate my quarter of a cookie with that just to give it a fair shake. But now moving forward on my next piece, because I still like the cookie itself, I will scrape off the brittle. Mary said she's going to eat that for me because I was like, that's her favorite. That was her favorite cookie, and that was her favorite cookie for the week. Favorite cookie overall.
Whoa!
Yeah. So I was like, damn. So she's going to eat the brittle. I'll have the peanut butter.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, closing out the week for me was the brownie batter. Not by any means, because it was not good. It was very good.
But the other ones were stronger.
Issue, well, not even that. It's the issue that I took with it was nothing special. If I underbaked my own brownie at home, I can make it.
Right.
If it's something I can make, doesn't matter how good it is, then it's going to get knocked down on some points just for simplicity. And I'm not a cook by any means.
I mean, that's why sugar cookie drops on mine.
Yeah, my basic sugar cookies toward the bottom of my all-time list as well for a very similar reason.
Right. Which is really weird because I love a good sugar cookie.
Yeah, it's not that they're bad. It's just that they're like it's nothing special. I guess I should
compared to what we've been doing.
Right. Yeah, you give me a dulce de leche against brownie batter. Yeah, I'm going to pick the dulce de leche.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I'm excited. I mean, I'm finding that like those weeks that we have the cookies that we kind of rank a little bit lower, the next week fucking grand slams it out of the park.
I hope so. So. You know what I'm really looking forward to is sometime in the next month to a month and a half, they should be cranking out an eggnog cookie.
I'm hoping they don't do it too soon, because Shamrock is cranking that shit out too soon. Have you seen that? Eggnog's already in stores.
Oh, I was at Lowe's yesterday, and the entrance is flooded with Christmas shit already.
That's fine. I don't give a shit about that. What Shamrock only makes X amount of batches, and then they're done. Because they have to essentially
clean everything.
Yeah, they have essentially say like they have 3 tanks. They're using one for eggnog, and then like they'll make 1 or 2 batches for production, and then they go back to normal. So if you're putting that shit out now, we're not going to have any for Christmas.
Yeah, but Shamrock eggnog is good. I'll give you that, but it is peasants' water compared to Dan Ziessen's eggnog.
We still have to do that for December. We'll go over some eggnog, but I need to get my fucking Shamrock eggnog. So I think we're going to start buying it because it'll last a little while.
Yeah,
it's
when we buy, I think 6 months.
Yeah, so when we buy, I'm going to buy like 2, 3, 4. I think last year I bought 8 fucking things of eggnog.
Once it's open, it needs to go fast. But if you keep it sealed, it'll last a few months.
Yeah, so like when we normally buy it, it's good until March. So it's good for 3-4 months.
Yeah, I usually buy one like a few days before New Year's, and then I drink it on my birthday in March.
That's awesome. So Yeah. We'll see about the eggnog. So I'm looking forward to the eggnog cookie. I hope that doesn't disappoint because I'm gonna grade that shit fucking hard.
Yeah, there's going to be eggnog. There's going to be peppermint, and I'm sure there'll be more pumpkin.
Yep. Thanksgiving, they'll do another pumpkin one because they've
Probably.
done 2 pumpkins already.
Yeah,
So
they'd be.
Who knows?
I wonder if they have like a pumpkin pie cookie.
I hope
Like,
so.
That would be interesting.
That'd be really good.
Again, they would need to walk away from their constant use of cream cheese frosting.
They won't.
They won't. I understand why, from a business perspective, it's cheaper to keep making the same shit.
Yeah.
I get it. But when you can crank up the quality of a cookie just by switching to like a whipped cream frosting, you got to do it once in a while. But they haven't yet, even when you should. Even with like the Oreo thing. Like, how are you going to make an Oreo cookie without the Oreo fucking cream filling?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could have mixed that with Oreo. You know what I mean? To make it like an actual Oreo. Or did they do that? I can't even remember. That's how, like...
It was just a
Not
chocolate...
surprising.
Really, how I remember it in my mind, it was a chocolate cookie with cream cheese frosting, and then they sprinkled
crumbs on it.
crumbled up Oreo cookie on it. Not the filling, just the cookie part crumbled over the top. So, okay, cool. Good, but not Oreo.
Not great.
Yeah, that was number 30 all time for me out of 39.
Holy shit. Well, cool, man. All right, so that's our crumble ratings for the week. What else what's new? I see that you have your Halloween costume selected for the wedding.
Do. Yes, this is for the wedding that I'm going to be the best man. I threw some stuff around. I actually talked to him about it too. There was a kilt being discussed and going as Braveheart. The inflatable dinosaur was also discussed. What I ended up going with was a Green Man outfit, except it's not green. The printed pattern on it is a tuxedo.
So you're going to be an invisible man when the photos are taken in front of a green screen.
Pretty much. It's black and white, and it has the pattern as if I'd be wearing a tuxedo, but it's skin tight, and it fits perfectly.
Awesome. You already have it?
I do have it. I do. So
you'll have to take a picture wearing it so we can post it up on our social media.
Okay. Part of the reason I went with that is because it is easy to pack and it's lightweight, and I have to go to Texas with this thing. So I didn't want it to be a crazy, huge, or heavy, or complicated costume. I wanted to keep it simple. So that was actually a big deciding factor with this. And I was looking at them, and then I came across one that had that tuxedo pattern on it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, yeah, there it is, done."
That's awesome.
That's brilliant.
So fucking awesome. I hope they have a green screen. You know how they do those ones with like photos, and I hope, like, I need you to do like 2 photos, one with them, so you know, being the best man, and then just one by yourself. So
Where
it's
it just looks like a tuxedo.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
That would be awesome. I want to see those 2 photos.
I'll see what I can do.
That's
because I have no idea what they're going to have there.
Right.
No clue.
That's fucking awesome. Because we had
a photo area, and a photo booth. We had a photo booth at our wedding.
What color was your wedding?
It was green and white.
Okay, so you did have that, because if you look at your photos, because I'm wearing a green vest and a green tie, that part is see-through with the backgrounds for some of the photos that we've taken.
Yeah, I'll have to take a closer look. That's a very possible.
So you can see right through my tie, and you can see like the beach or whatever background we had. So I can see that for your Green Man tux.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be fucking cool. Yeah, get a picture, Send it over to me.
And it's really nice too, is that you can unzip because there's like a zip up the back and all the way up to the top of your head.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, you can just unzip just the head and have it come down. So your head's out, but the rest of it is good. So
that's cool.
Yeah. It's actually pretty.
It'd be nice for like when it's time to eat.
Right. Right. Or if there's a pool involved, I don't want to waterboard myself and jump in with that thing on.
You're like, yeah.
Because I've seen a video of somebody doing that. They were at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
And he was dressed up as Spider-Man. And so they were playing, and he probably didn't think about it, right? He just was like, oh, we're playing. And it was a family member of the kids. And he jumped in the pool with them as in full Spider-Man garb. And he like pulls himself out of the pool and he's freaking out and it goes on for about 20 or 30 seconds, I think, before another adult realizes what's going on and they go over there and help him.
That's funny. That's that. It's funny to me. It's funny. I want to see it, So, fucking hey, that's awesome though. Sounds like it's gonna be a real good time.
I hope so. This will be the second wedding I go to on Halloween with a Halloween theme.
Jesus,
I wasn't in the other one, but I was at it.
You were just
so
attending.
This is now 2.
What's next? Christmas. Christmas
Married
weddings.
on Christmas.
New Year's weddings,
I'm sure there's plenty. Like I remember in 1999 going into 2000, there was a race to be the first person in the country married on January 1st. To be the first person married in the new millennium. It's like, bitch, you'd have to go to New Zealand for that.
Right. Fucking dumbasses. Anyway, that's awesome though. That's cool.
What about you? What's going on with you?
Nothing. Freelance work, normal work. Still going through the gauntlet of stuff, like fuck, man. I have a wedding coming up on the 16th.
Are you officiating?
No, I don't even want to go.
Oh,
like
okay.
I had an out for the wedding, and then plans changed. And then I had no option but to go, and I don't want to. So we're doing a day thing. So we're going to go up there. We'll be there for the wedding.
Don't listen to this podcast.
They won't. So we're going to go, and we'll be there for the wedding. Then I think we'll be there for the reception for, I don't know, maybe an hour or 2 hours at the most. And then we're all going to pile into a truck and then drive back down.
Where is it?
Payson. So it's 2 hours.
Not the worst. Just a couple hours.
Yeah, it's just a 2 hour drive. So it's not
and
super
when is
crazy.
It?
The 16th.
16th.
So
what
Saturday.
day of the week is that? It's a Saturday?
Yeah.
Because I have to go to Payson next or this month. Shit, it's the 1st. I have to go to work this month for up to Payson for work. So
what dates?
Whenever I want to go. It just has to get done this month.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll be up there. We'll be up there on a Saturday, and it's gonna be a head up there same day, do the wedding, head back the same day. So, which is much preferred over what we were gonna be doing, which was go up Friday and then come back Sunday. I was like, I don't want to fucking do any of that. So
it is nicer up there weather-wise for sure. Yeah.
So it will be nice when I'm up there. It's just I don't want to go to this wedding. That's it. You know what I mean?
I actually drove through there a week and a half ago on my way to Sholo for work. And it was like 20 degrees cooler.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. So
not that it's super terrible right now. It's 90. We had that storm come through last night or the night before and dropped that shit down.
We're in the mid to upper 90s now. It's downright frigid.
Right. Drop down 2 more degrees. I'll be putting on a fucking jacket. I love my jackets.
You hit a basic 90 degrees. That's Phoenix sweater weather.
Yep. Fuck yeah. And beanies. Give me it. I already have them planned out, man. I just got to buy them. I'm so fucking excited. I love fucking cooler weather. I love jacket weather. My favorite. I love my jackets. I'll wear my jackets inside my house while I watch TV. That's how much I love my jackets.
I definitely wish there was more opportunity here for that kind of clothing.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of it that I also like. I also like my, my hoodies and my jackets and my beanies. I enjoy them too, but fuck, I only get to wear them 6 weeks out of the year.
Right. So because it is October 1st.
Yes, sir.
We just stated that while we're recording this. And we're talking about
On the record.
holidays and all that good stuff. I wanted to talk about, Dan, the time when we were children and we went trick-or-treating all the way up until the rightful age of 35. I'm still out there trick-or-treating. That's right. I dress up. I want the fucking candy. So I wanted to see what your favorite Halloween, All Hallows candy is. When little Danny gets his little fucking, pillowcase of treasure back to the house, empties it on the floor to see what you get. What's your go-to candy?
As a kid or now?
Both. Let's do it with a kid. When you were a kid, what was it that you went for?
It was always the Three Musketeers.
Solid choice.
Yeah, it was Three Musketeers, and then I graduated to the Milky Way when I realized it was just Three Musketeers with caramel.
That's true.
It is true.
But sometimes you don't want that caramel. You just want that soft.
No, I always want caramel. I always want caramel. Oh yeah, every time. I don't even eat Three Musketeers anymore. Now, to be fair, I don't really eat Milky Way anymore. I don't really eat any candy very often anymore. But yeah, Milky Way, I think, was the top of the heap when I was a kid. Now it would probably be, the Kit Kat Big Cat, like the extra large Kit Kats that are like super thick and wide. Have you ever?
I've had
they're
those.
really rare.
They're a little much. And the way that people say they don't like the big cups for Reese's because there's too much peanut butter.
Oh no, fuck
there's
that! I
too
love
much
those.
wafer for Kit Kat.
So
I prefer the regular Kit Kats or those little single bite-sized Kit Kats.
Yeah, I like the big, thick, wide Kit Kat or the extra big Reese's cup. Like I like both of those.
I like that. That was good. But now I can't find
Bart.
those ones even. I'm finding the ones with the Reese's Pieces in it, and I don't want that. Or the ones with the pretzels in it. Again, I don't want that.
Yeah.
No,
they have the big cups at work all the time.
Yeah, I haven't seen those in a couple of stores. They're always the other variant ones. So, but when I was a kid, my go-to was the Kit Kats. I loved those little single bite-sized Kit Kats. And then I found even as a kid, I really like the bite-sized Snickers. I think those taste better than anything else as far as Snickers goes.
Must
my
be a
grandma,
ratio thing.
Maybe. My grandma had on her table every Halloween, she got super pissed at me and my sister because it looked like a little ghost, right? And then on the front of the ghost, it said Snickers. And like his head, like the top part of his head came off, and then it was just filled with bite-sized Snickers. And she and I would we'd sneak, Snickers here and there when we were being babysat by my grandma. And, I think by the end of like 2 days, we had eaten 3/4 of the Snickers that were in there. And those are supposed to be her treats. Like she got that for her. So she was pissed. And we've done that a couple of times with couple different foods with them. But so I love the little Snickers and the Kit Kats. Those were my go-to candies. I did find an appreciation for lemon heads. Those are really good. I really like those in my candy sack.
I think my secondary as a kid was Butterfinger.
I liked those for a period, but then after a while, I got tired of all that shit getting stuck in my teeth. You know what I mean?
A few years ago, they changed it's a new improved formula. It tastes like fucking chemicals. It's gross now.
Really?
Yeah.
Crunch bars used to be. I feel like nobody gives out Crunch bars anymore. Those little bite-sized Crunch bars. I really like those. Those were pretty good as far as candy, the Halloween candy goes.
The rare time I have any candy now, I actually just like plain chocolate because
like a Hershey.
just a Hershey or some other, just plain chocolate, because I will just sit there and let it melt in my mouth, and it really draws out. Like I don't need a lot to feel satisfied, which is good because I've been trying to cut out all this shit food.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any in, a while now, but I think that's kind of just my basic thing now.
Hershey's are my treat for Christmas. Like the Special Dark and the Crackle. Those are my Christmas ones. But
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say my Christmas tradition every year, my dad gets me the largest fucking Toblerone bar he can find.
Awesome.
I've gotten them it depends. Seriously, he won't go online to like find the biggest one in production. It's whatever one is the biggest one he can find that year. So sometimes I'll get one that's as big as my leg. Other years I'll get a normal size one. Other years, they've started selling these things at Costco every year. It's a bundle of 6 that has been like rolled up. I'll get that sometimes. So it's whatever one he comes across that's the largest. And I always secretly hope it's the one that's as large as my thigh.
Nice. Yeah. We'll talk about more Christmas stuff. Yeah, in the coming months because there's a lot. Christmas is my favorite holiday, so I can't wait to get there. But so, what are you now that there's kids in our lives? What do you secretly hope that they get that you're gonna steal?
Well, I like to think my willpower is high enough that I won't be doing that. But in reality,
everybody does it.
In
at
reality,
least once.
It would. Oh man, I don't know. It might be the Heath bar or the Twix bar. I know you're not a toffee guy, so I know what you're gonna. I already know what you're gonna say about Heath.
The Heath bars are that and malt balls, like the little malt chocolate.
Oh,
like the Milk Duds. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well, Milk Duds are caramel chocolate. I think you're thinking of Whoppers.
Whoppers are the same. Milk Duds, Whoppers, whatever has that chalky shit, it's like those.
No. Whoppers is that. Milk Duds are the chewy caramels that have been chocolate coated. They're the yellow. The Milk Duds are a yellow box. Whoppers are like that white, off-white box.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're thinking of Whoppers.
I think I was burnt pretty badly as a kid for that, so I don't trust either box.
I went through junior mints phase once too as a kid.
That's my movie time candy.
See, my movie time candy is Milk Duds.
Gross. So gross.
Again, no, that's the caramel and chocolate. It's not the Whoppers.
I gotta get my mind out of that because it just goes right to the Whoppers.
Yeah, it's not the Whoppers.
So
you don't like robin's eggs either at Easter?
No, that it's so gross. They look good. They almost remind me of M&Ms until I bite into it, and then my day's ruined.
Okay, so I got a candy question for you.
Okay.
The holiday Reese's, whatever holiday it is, the egg, the tree, the pumpkin, they always taste better than regular fucking Reese's, right? I'm not the only one?
Right.
Okay.
Now, my problem with those is the chocolate is different, and I think that's why it tastes better. They are always fucking melted every time I get one. Like, they cannot hold their shape compared to a normal Reese's.
Well, a normal Reese's comes in the extra cup full wrapper.
Right.
So I think that helps. Whereas the holiday shaped ones don't.
Right.
They just come on that little tray.
They always come. They're like starting to melt. Like as soon as you touch it, it's going to be a fucking mess. But they do taste the best. They taste better.
Okay. I'm not the only one that's good.
No, good. I always do that. You know what actually tastes really fucking good? again, I'm not even gonna get into it. It's a Christmas thing. We'll get into it on Christmas because
Okay.
it's one of my favorite treats. So I don't want to go too far into that realm.
I
but
enjoy
yes.
that we're talking about candy because I know that one of our listeners is working really hard on intermittent fasting. So I hope this is tempting him into
Maybe
having a little bit of
if
junk
he's a
food.
candy person. I don't know how much he's into the candies.
Yeah, I don't know. But I bet you
So.
he steals some of his kids on Halloween, just
We
like
all
everyone
fucking
else.
do it. You know what I find myself doing a lot for recently, and I've always liked this one. It's a candy that hits a spot when you're really craving it. But every time I see it in the kids' as candies bags or whatever, I will take it, and that's a York peppermint patty. It's a fucking classic candy that I don't know where I picked that up at. You know, it was just one of these days. I remember being a kid and we got to pick out a candy at like a gas station or something. And I went for a York peppermint patty. I think it's the commercial, like when the woman's biting into it and it snaps, right? I'm like, God, that just looks so fucking good. I think that's what I did.
I associate that with Christmas. I feel because of the peppermint, undoubtedly.
Yeah. I do. I can see that, but that's what I steal recently from the kids' bags is a York peppermint patty. And they're
nothing wrong with that. They're very good.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. You know, so I'm excited.
Ooh. So which we know you don't like toffee. What else? Anything else? Anything else candy that you're just like, get the fuck out of here with that?
Aside from Whoppers.
Well, yeah, Whoppers
Like,
and toffee for you.
Yeah. I think that's I think those are the ones
I think it's
I just can't stand.
Almond Joy.
Oh man, I love Almond Joys. But
Almond Joy and Mounds. It's the texture.
The coconut?
It's not the flavor. It's the texture.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love them. I'll eat the shit out of those. Those are an understated candy too. That when you're
I
a
like
kid,
coconut.
you don't pay attention to.
I just don't like the grainy coconut.
Yeah, I like that too. I just like
Yeah.
all of it. It's fucking good, man. So I'm very excited. I look at all the bags of candies. I get that way every fucking holiday though when they come out with the, Valentine's Day little Dove heart chocolates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So cool, man.
We'll talk more about more candy, I'm sure, as more holidays come.
I'm a fatty fat, especially when it comes to that shit. Oh, speaking of, so it kind of goes into, I think it's more of a fall candy, right? I'll have to find the wrapper because I just ate all of them yesterday.
Caramel apple pops.
No, but those are good. So my sister went to Trader Joe's. She loves that fucking place. And she had to come and pick up that Xbox, right? She finally picked it up. So it's funny. She's coming to pick up something. She dropped something else off, and she dropped off these little pumpkins from Trader Joe's, right? So it's like an orange chocolate glaze over that looks like a pumpkin. Inside, it's a little bit of brownie and a little bit of mousse. So it reminds me of like a ding dong almost.
Okay.
Right?
I'm
fucking
listening.
good, man. Fucking good. If you find yourself near a Trader Joe's around this time, go in there, go into the baking section or the the bakery, and pick up those little pumpkins. They're a fucking treat.
I have shopped at Trader Joe's a grand total of one time in my life.
I've never been there, but I think I'm going to change that because I might go for another one of these. There's 6 in a thing, and they're super tiny. They look like little brownies.
Yeah, Jessica and I went about a year ago to Trader Joe's, and we decided Trader Joe's is not for us.
It might be for those pumpkins because it's the Trader Joe's brand. So I know that's where I can find them.
They're supposed to be opening an Aldi near us soon, so we'll go try an Aldi. Apparently, it's similar to Trader Joe's. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens.
We have one of those over here. That place is fucking neat.
Yeah? Because
Yeah.
you have to like rent the fucking cart.
Shit. Then it might
You
be
have to
something
rent
else.
the cart. You have to pay for every bag, which I know is pretty common in the rest of the country now, but not here. Not here. So
California is that way.
yeah, I don't know how excited I am about that kind of shit. Like, you want to charge me an extra $4 so I can actually carry the shit I just gave you
but
money for?
I know what they're doing. Just get the reusable bags. You'll be all right.
Yeah, we have some. The problem is remembering them.
Yeah, we get that way.
So yeah, guess we'll see how it goes.
I think
It's
once you
under
make it into
it's
a
under
habit,
construction.
you know, yeah.
It's under construction. It should be done, I'm sure, within a few months. Unlike the fucking road work they just started, that's going to take 2 years, or it's projected to take 2 years. I'm willing to bet it takes closer to 4. But you know, such is life. Road traffic is everywhere.
There's a Aldi up at not too far from us, 5 miles north. So I'll check that out. I'll look about the other store that I really like because I went in there and it just looks fucking classy. You know, it's got a fucking full deli.
Is it AJ's?
Yes.
AJ's Fine Foods? Yeah.
Yep. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's a nice store. There's not many of them anymore. There used to be quite a few more, but there's not as many now.
There's one over by the karate place when we take the kids. And Wednesdays are our long days because we have the youngest one and then we have like an hour and then the oldest one does her class. So we'll go across the street and we'll walk in there. That's where we found, like, you know, the relish that I sent you guys. You know, their seafood, you know, areas all there. They have full lobsters in the water tanks. I'm like, man, this place is fucking awesome. I like this place.
That place is a no shitter for sure.
Yeah, I really like AJ's. So that's it. Yeah. Woo.
Hot dog.
Like fancy. I like nice places, you know, for food, whether that be a restaurant or a grocery store. You know what I mean?
I cannot speak too highly the praises of a restaurant called Anello's in Phoenix. They just moved locations to a new building. It's the Orpheum Lofts downtown. It is the 2 best meals I've ever had in my entire life were there. The best 2 dishes, I should say, were at that restaurant. It is my favorite restaurant I've ever been to. Jessica's too. We go there at least 4 times a year, probably, I'd bet.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Fuck.
Cannot speak highly enough. ANHELO. Anello's.
JELLO. It's alive.
JELLO.
That's another holiday treat that it kind of went by the wayside since we were a kid.
You know, my mom does a pistachio pudding.
Yes,
for the holidays, and
that's my Christmas. I like that. My mom makes that for me specifically. Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, my mom hasn't been feeling well. She's got the COVID.
She's got the vid.
Yeah,
that sucks, man. She didn't get her shot.
She did not.
Hopefully, she's doing all right.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's getting any worse. It's been about a week.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's getting worse. So she says she's able to breathe just fine, but her throat hurts and when she talks. So I haven't talked to her much because of that. But I figured no news is good news. Like, if something was really wrong, I would have heard about it. So I send her a text message every couple days, or I try to call her for a few minutes every few days just to see how she's doing, and everything seems okay.
That's good.
Or as good as can be.
Right. Yeah, man. Hopefully it works out, because it sucks. You know, I just had to, about a month, 2 months ago, 3 months, something like that. And like, it's fairly recently. You know, I had somebody that we knew in the comic industry, and one of the locals up in Vegas, he passed away due to COVID. So he had heart complications, previous, just whatever. But then he contracted that, and it unfortunately took him out. He was like 43, so it sucks.
Not much older than us.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man, where it's, you look when it's never good when that happens to anybody. But, when you know somebody who's like that the life of the party, essentially, you know what I mean? I think that guy lived multiple lives for a lot of us. Every time I turned around, he was doing something. He would go to the hospital for like Girl Scouts, and he was just free drawings for everybody, just to kind of raise the awareness up for the troops and this and that. Or then he would DJ here and there, so he's always out there, and he's doing an MC. After he passed away and everyone's sharing stories with him, he was on the fucking Food Network as a host for something that was going on in Vegas. There was a competition and he was MCing that competition. I had no fucking idea, like he did so much crazy shit that I was still learning things about him after he had passed. Like,
damn.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like you see it and you see him and you laugh, and then you're like struggling to, and
when you burn bright, you burn fast.
Right. Like, like we were talking about this show. I was, he was going to be one of the first people, once we started branching out to like interview people, he was going to be one of the first people I had on here. You know what I mean? He even did his own podcast and everything. And then it's just, fuck, man. It sucks.
That does suck.
So, I like to see people get through it if they unfortunately get it, So.
Well, now that we've had this downer, let's
That's life, man.
Let's do an abrupt transition into what we've been playing.
Yes. Let's move on. Let's get everybody back. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's do this.
What have you been playing, Andy?
I've been playing Cruis'n Blast on the Nintendo Switch. And it's fucking fun. It's simple, right? Cruis'n USA. It's an arcade racer. And this is just another one. And you go to Peter Piper Pizza, the place where it's the pizza people pick. So I heard. They have the arcade there for Cruis'n Blast. And I like to play it every once in a while. Go to Dave & Buster's. Go to whatever, place that has arcades. And Cruis'n Blast is now, it's going to be in there. So they brought that over to the Nintendo Switch. And I've been playing that. I've collected all the keys. I'm working on upgrading all my cars, to level 5 so they get the max stats, and then they've unlocked the neon lights and the body, body additions. So like my little ATV looks like it has wings now, and then you can get the engine. So my ATV will look like it has a jet engine on the back. I have a tank that I fully maxed out. So he has missiles and a crazy laser beam instead of a tank cannon, on the front there. So it's a lot of fun. And it's one of those things I jump into every once in a while where, in the mornings when I want to do something in between work, once I'm like waiting on my work to be delivered to me, I'll pop in, do a couple races, and just so
it sounds like a mix. Is it a mix between like Cruis'n USA and Twisted Metal?
No, because you're not battling other cars. It's still Cruis'n USA. They just took out the dancing lady at the end and changed up the locations, but I like it. It's like I said, it's a simple arcade racer, and I knew exactly what I was getting myself into when I bought it, and it's a lot of fun. The opening theme drives me fucking crazy because they play the same song over and over again, to the point where like I actually start singing it in my head, and when I'm out and about, I'm like, it drives me fucking crazy. So but the racing is pretty solid. So I've been playing that. I beat Kena Bridge of Spirits today, which is awesome. And then I did the exploit for the trophy for beating on master mode.
Ah, nice.
So I got that, and then as soon as I turned my PlayStation back online,
It updated.
it updated the game. So so they were probably trying to get that taken care of. So I'm glad I took that offline when I did. So
good call.
Yeah, so I did that, and then speaking of another arcade racer, I was supposed to get Hot Wheels in today. Hot Wheels Unleashed. Unfortunately, it got delayed. It's going to be in tomorrow. That's a game you should check out, man. It's getting a lot of good reviews, a lot of praise. You play, obviously it's Hot Wheels, right? So you're playing these little cars on the tracks that go through different areas, like your bedroom and stuff like that. It's those orange tracks. The level of detail that they put into this game, man, from what I've seen. When you look under the car, it has the production date and the production information underneath it. The more you race certain cars, the more like the tires get that little scratch, like you're playing with it a lot, and you start seeing little scratches on the body. If you look closely, it has a photo mode, which looks fucking awesome. It was pointed out that if you look at the track, you can see like little air bubbles in the stickers, here and there. Dude, it looks so awesome. I'm glad it's getting such good reviews because I really wanted to play it when they announced it. And you know how sometimes licensing those types of games go where it's just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. The only thing people have a complaint about is you have to purchase your cars with in-game currency doing races. So you're not actually paying for anything. Which is good.
That's how most racing games are. Right.
But they're blind boxes. So you can't just be like, hey, I'm going for this car. I need to save up, 90,000 points or whatever. It's, hey, I'm going to save up points. And then, hey, I unlocked this car, which is like, okay. And then I think the reviewer that I saw for this particular one, he spent the points to get like 4 blind boxes and he got the same car on all 4, which is kind of crappy.
Yeah,
so that's the only.
That does suck because if you have it,
why do I need it again? So other than that,
and the ones that are most common, I'm sure, are like, congratulations, you just unlocked an F-350 U.S. Forest Service firefighting truck. Oh shit!
Yeah,
what am I going to do with that in a race?
Well, yeah, and I mean, unless it if it doesn't hurt it or anything like that, then it's just your. Like a burger car or something like that. But I'm very excited that they have the Ninja Turtles van in this, so I'm going to try to go for that. That's going to be my vehicle of choice if I can get my hands on it early. So that was supposed to be in today. I wanted to talk about it today, but I didn't get it. So
they are building a Hot Wheels theme park over near Cardinal Stadium.
Are they really?
They really are. There's going to be a water park over there, and there's going to be a Hot Wheels theme park of some sort.
Where?
I don't know the details. It's over near that new casino. Over near the stadium. So I can't imagine.
All the time. That's where I get my crumble cookies. So I'll look.
I can't imagine it'll be that large, but that is the last I heard is that something Hot Wheels is going to be going in over there. It'll
probably be for kids.
Park. Maybe.
Sucks. It's like,
or they could put some go-karts in there.
That would be neat.
Hot Wheels go-karts.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of development over there because, we are going to host the Super Bowl. So they're building
that. Yeah.
hotels.
That place is going to be
opened a couple years
crazy.
ago.
Yeah. Topgolf will be booming for sure.
For a while.
So,
have you been there? That's a lot of fun.
Topgolf? Yeah. Not that one, not that location, but I've been to a Topgolf.
Fair enough.
I like it. So the other game that I played was the Castlevania Advance Collection. I picked that up. So I've been kind of running through that, the Circle of the Moon.
What is the Hot Wheels game on? What platform?
All platforms. It's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be on the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
Yeah, you were mentioning the super graphics where you can see like the air bubbles and shit. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, I'll have to wait until I get my Series X.
Yeah, but I recommend it, man. It's going to be, I can recommend it based on what I've seen. I haven't actually played it yet, but I'll get back to you next week on that. And I'll let you know if I actually recommend it.
Okay.
Right now, I'm very excited about it and I can't wait to play it.
Well then.
So what about you?
Sounds like it could be fun.
What have you been up
let's
to?
see. What have I been up to game wise? Clash of Clans carries on. Takes forever to upgrade shit. Hooray! But I'm just plugging along, doing the grind. What else? Oh, I have 1,000 gamer score for the month already.
Fucking A.
For
Catching up.
Donut County.
Yeah? Awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's a new month, so
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I waited so that I could own this month.
I like that game a lot. That was a neat game. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but it's just something about making your circle, your little hole bigger so you swallow up the world.
I didn't like that it wasn't continuous. Like there was just a lot of breaks and then a lot of talking. It's like, okay, I'm not really playing this for the story. I'm playing it for the achievements.
Right.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a neat little game. And it's on Game Pass, so, you know.
Yeah, that really helped a lot too.
You spend what, like an hour and a half?
Yeah, thereabouts.
So
an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Cool. The music's neat. I was debating on picking it up on vinyl.
Can you order custom vinyl like that?
They have an actual vinyl for it.
For Donut County?
Yeah.
For an obscure fucking game that's 3 years old.
Dude, go to im8bit.com and you'll see a lot of video game, soundtracks.
I find that surprising for that game. Because it's an independent developer.
Unless it's sold out, but yeah, they have it.
I find that surprising, but I believe you. But
like
other than that, I mean, I've just been in doing work all week, so I haven't really played much. I mean, last weekend I played PUBG and Fortnite with some friends. Just the usual stuff, man. Nothing I haven't talked about or played before.
Cool.
I'll have to find some more stuff for raising up that gamer score, but yeah, we're 22 and a half hours into the month. I'm already at 1,000, so I think that's a good start.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I'll wait for another month before I jump in. I have a couple of games that are on my hold list for me to do that on the Xbox, but like with beating Kenna, which is a fantastic game. And I can't wait for that to have a vinyl. The soundtrack is fucking great. I like it a lot. So, but next week is Far Cry 6. So I'm kind of just trying to wrap up certain games. I have to go back to Tales of Arise. We'll see if I get that done before Far Cry 6, but I doubt it.
I really want to play Far Cry 6, but I'm going to wait for the new system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it once you get that. That's also
part of the reason I'm not really branching out into new games right now is because my system, while it can technically handle them, it's not optimal.
Yeah.
So when is that shipping again? Like November
8th?
It ships on the 8th and it's supposed to show
up
I think
it's supposed
the 11th.
To be out the 8th, so it should ship out a couple days before that.
Okay.
Because I think Halo comes out on the 8th. So it might be like the day of or the day after that you get it.
So that means I have 1 month to get my living room ready.
Yeah,
because we're gonna paint since our current TV is gonna come off the wall.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, we're gonna paint. We decided on a color today, actually. So we got to get everything ready. Got to paint it. Got to get the new TV, get the new mount, get it set up. Get it ready to roll. That way, when that thing shows up, it's just plug it in, transfer my profile, update, and move, and just get rolling.
Fucking A. It's gonna be exciting, man.
It just sucks because I won't be here.
Gen. Yeah, but you'll have it.
Yeah, it'll show up, and then I'll won't be here for most of November on the weekends when I can actually play. I'll be here during the week to work, and then almost every weekend I'm out of town.
Holidays.
Yeah, well.
But you'll have it, so that's what's awesome.
True.
So even during the week when you want to jump in on Minecraft, it's not going to take you 45 minutes to load the game.
I'll be living the dream.
So that's what we've been playing. So there was not a whole lot of news going on. I know that there is the Tokyo Game Show that's happening right now. Square Enix was just on there. They kind of went through their games. Again, they did some actual trailers for games that were announced, but because of Gamescom, we've seen a lot of the work already, a lot of the game titles. They're just kind of giving us more details. One of the things that did stick out to me was that Konami is going to be making games again. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with what Konami's been doing recently. Over the last 10 years, I guess, is they just do pachinko machines. They make so much money in Japan off of pachinko machines. Even in Vegas and other casinos, I've seen them. They haven't been making video games for anybody else or for themselves, I guess. So Konami, an article on IGN was that Konami is reportedly working on games in the Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill series with both internal and external studios attached to these projects. So some of the sources are stating that they're looking to do a reimagining of the Castlevania that's currently in development. That's going to be done by an internal Konami studio. It's it's exciting. I like it because we're getting more Castlevania. I really like Castlevania games, even though I'm terrible at them. You know, I know Silent Hill is getting another game that people have wanted since Silent Hills when they teased that with the PT trailer. I don't know if you ever played that trailer. So it was supposed to be a first-person Silent Hill game, and you're in the trailer, in the demo, is a playable trailer. That's why they call it PT. You're going through a house, and you have to do certain things in different intervals, right, of the house. And, you know, like the phone's ringing, you know, answer the phone. There's a, you know, creature that walks around at certain points, you know, just random things start happening in the trailer. No joke, man, because I'm not a horror type person. That shit freaked me the fuck right out to the point where, like, I was in the house by myself when this first came out, and I was walking up through a hallway and I see like this bog hag, right? So like this naked woman that's just, her skin's drooping off her face. She looks like she's rotting. She's outside the window and she's smiling, and her face is like just shifting back and forth really fast. It terrified me in a way that I didn't think that it could do that. I had like tears start coming up in my eyes, and I just put the controller down and I fucking left my house. I went and sat on the patio where it was sunlight out because it fucking scared the shit out of me.
And you avoided Windows for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, it scared the hell out of me. And I was like, okay, this game isn't for me. You know what I mean? But, you know, that was supposed to be at the end of the trailer. You see Norman Reedus walk outside the apartment that he's stuck in. And he, like, the character turns around, it's Norman Reedus, and they're like Silent Hills. And everybody lost their shit because it was like a Guillermo del Toro game working with Norman Reedus, you know, doing a Silent Hills game, and then they scrapped it. And then we haven't seen anything for that particular game or any Silent Hill series in a while. And then Castlevania fell off after a while, you know, since like the PS3, Xbox 360, and Nintendo DS games, you know, until recently when they did the Advanced Collection. The only thing that they were doing was the Metal Gear games, and one of them was like Metal Gear 5, and then the other one was Metal Gear Survive, which was fucking garbage. So it's cool that they're bringing these series back. Hopefully they're good, you know, and they do something right.
So I never would have guessed that they were making casino games, but you were not effing kidding when you said that they were making more money doing that than they ever could making video games.
Yeah.
Their revenue for 2020, COVID, mind you, 2020, was $262.8 billion with a B.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
On a pachinko machine. And that's why they stopped making video games. They're like, why are we? Because
don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit.
Well, no. video games will make you a lot of money. They can if you spend the time and the resources to do it right. They were pushing games out that were just fucking trash, so nobody wanted them, so that it was costing them money. And then they were like, "Oh, pachinko is making us money because people are just there to spend money, and then these games are costing us money because we're making them, nobody's buying them." So then they just shelved all the gaming.
I don't know, man. Like, I get what you're saying, but video games aren't going to pull in $250 billion a year.
Tell that to Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do you think Grand Theft Auto 5 is still pulling in $250 billion a year?
I don't know.
That's a lot of cabbage.
It's a lot of scratch. So it's awesome that they're doing that. You know, I'm very excited. Hopefully, cautiously optimistic. So, by the way, Grand Theft Auto has made over $6.4 billion since its release.
Since its release, total.
Yeah.
So
it's not like pachinko in the 1 year, but
yeah.
But still, for one game, that's a fucking number. You know what I mean? For a game that you're essentially buying once, as opposed to pachinko, where you just constantly.
You mean the people that have bought Grand Theft Auto 5 like 6 times now?
If you're one of those people, yeah. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm very excited about this. So, according to certain developers, they were handed a 4K Nintendo dev kit. And Nintendo has come out and said that that's a false claim, but Nintendo's pretty on that kind of shit where they will deny everything. They'll deny the sky is blue until they decide that the sky is blue. Right?
They do have a reputation, yes.
Right. So they said when the Nintendo Switch came out, people were talking about that there was a rumor going around that they were going to make a handheld Nintendo Switch. Now, the Switch is handheld, but the one that we have connects to a dock, can play on your TV. This one was not going to connect to a dock. It was going to be a handheld Switch. The controllers don't slide on and off. It's a full handheld console. Nintendo said those are all false. All those rumors, full of shit, right? So don't believe it. All we have is this Nintendo Switch. It's a great console. That's all you're going to get, yada, yada. 3 months later or 4 months later, or something like that, we're announcing the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is the handheld fucking console.
Weird.
So they're known to do this shit. And they, like I said, they will deny the sky is blue until they say the sky is blue. So, again, another article on IGN. So when the Switch OLED was first announced over the summer, fans and observers alike noted the lack of overall improvements to the base model. While the Switch OLED featured a much nicer screen, it lacked the 4K display and improved processor, long rumored to be part of the so-called Switch Pro, right? Developers have stated that they received these dev kits that would enable them to do 4K graphics with higher processing power. And then we got the Switch OLED, and we're like, what the fuck's happening? Nintendo has made a comment on the same article. Nintendo released an additional statement reiterating that Bloomberg's report that developers have access to a 4K development kit for the Nintendo Switch is not true. Nintendo also continues to insist that it has no plans for any additional model outside of the Switch OLED and then the current Switch that they have now, which I think it's just the OLED's taken over. That's bullshit, man. I know that's bullshit. Next year.
You think next year?
Yep. They're making Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. That's going to need the processor power, and it's going to probably use the graphic fidelity where it may not be 4K. It may be 1080p, which is still more than the 720p that the Switch is doing now. Higher frame rates and such like that with the ability to move up to a 4K. So I don't know if it's going to be quite 4K, but it will have 4K capabilities for certain games. And that'll come out next year.
I have no reason to doubt you given Nintendo's track record.
Dude, it's awesome. When I read that, I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then even with Nintendo saying that's not true, I'm like, is it though? You know?
But is it though?
Yeah.
Like
So-
the more they deny it, the more true it probably is.
Yeah. They're like, we have no plans to release any, not right. Yeah, you have no plans right now. Yeah, or you have no plans to release another one in 2021. You know what I mean? But who's to say that when Zelda comes out, you're not going to have a Zelda edition, newer model with a better processor? Because certain games now that you play on the Switch will start to chug because it has too many things going on the screen. So they're working on fixing that. Might as well bump up the resolution with all these games coming out, all these TVs. Like I said, it may not be 4K. It may not be as powerful as the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
It can't be.
But it can probably get close to, if not match, the Xbox Series S. 1440p or 10, you know what I mean?
That's probably more achievable, more
Right.
realistic.
I'm not looking. Nintendo will never be in the realm of trying to compete with the other two, but they do need to step up their fucking game a little bit. Pun intended. You know what I mean?
No, I dig it.
Once you're doing that, you're sending out with developers which are going to start making these 4K games. Even if they were to put the games out sooner, they're going to have that 4K setup or the higher frame rate mode sitting there. So when that Switch comes out, they're going to do an update so that these games that you've purchased are going to be able to run it. They're preparing them for next year and then, the following year, while denying that they're doing that.
Of course.
So
it's their thing.
Yeah. So those are the two things news for gaming that really stuck out to me at the moment.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. Like you said, it's been not much out there on the gaming front this week. It's interesting that you picked up on those things.
Yeah.
But there's not much out there for games this week.
Which, hey, you know what? That's fine. It allows us to talk more about Halloween and candy and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be games focused all the time, and I'm okay with that. Especially with all these games coming out. So with that, moving on, let's move over to the screen time.
What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching?
Yeah.
Well, I have been cruising through. I ran through Runaways season 2. Yeah. Still trucking along on my MCU chronological order. I got 2 episodes into Punisher season 2 before I got so fed up with Hulu's shitty ass service that I decided to fucking cancel them. So now I am breaking my chronological viewing, and I'm cruising through Runaways season 3 now, because once Hulu goes away, I won't be able to watch that. So I'm getting it done now ahead of time. So I am going to break my chronological order, unfortunately, but I can't fucking do it anymore. I can't do it, Hulu. When it takes me 90 fucking minutes to watch a 50-minute show, I can't pay you for that shit service anymore. Sorry. Go fuck yourself.
You don't have to. Don't do it, Dan.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I dare you. Cancel it.
I did.
Cancel it right now.
I mean, it's already paid up until the 21st or 22nd. So, okay, fine, whatever. But that's it. I'm done. I'm fucking
Is
done.
The Runaways the only show that you have to do on Hulu?
Yes. Yeah.
You're a braver man than me.
It's the only one left.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 episodes left before I'm done. So
not bad.
I'm almost done. But the last episode of that I watched, Cloak and Dagger, that's the one that Cloak and Dagger show up. And so I just started looking at my phone as I had it going in the background pretty much. Because it's just so bad.
That
so
sucks.
bad. It's cringy. It's forced. There's a lot of shit in there that's super forced.
Yeah.
And it's forced in current events.
Oh.
So they have like wedged in a lesbian romance. They have wedged in like one of the characters wears one of those pink pussy hats all the time. It's like, do you not realize that if somebody wanted to watch this 3 years from now, 5 years from now, nobody's going to know what that is.
Right.
People are going to forget. But no, they needed to have it in there for woke points or whatever. And they just had to if they found a way to do it that wasn't so forced, that's one thing. But when they just jam it in and it's kind of out of place almost and awkward, it just makes the show fucking insufferable, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's a shame. I hate that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just a lot of people watch that to escape that. If I wanted to watch that shit, I'd watch the news.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, okay, cool. You want to do a lesbian romance, whatever. But It doesn't need to come out of left field when two characters just suddenly out of nowhere are just like, I really love you, and start making out. Like, oh, what? Weren't you just interested in that dude over there like an episode or two ago? Like, I don't get it. Where'd that come from? Oh, okay. I guess we're just going to run with this for 2 seasons. Why? Just because they wanted to cram it in. It wasn't really organic to the story, nor did it help the story.
Right.
It's just there. So.
Well, shit, man. That's a shame. I mean, it's kind of expected. That's why I haven't watched it. I didn't think that the writing was going to be as strong as the other Marvel titles that they were doing.
No, the Marvel titles on Netflix have been really good. The Marvel titles on Hulu have been not so great.
Right. It's a shame. That is a shame.
The writing is terrible, and the acting leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're almost done, and then you can get on to the actual MCU proper.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to Punisher because I was enjoying that.
Still haven't watched What If, right?
Just the first episode. Waiting until it falls into my chronological order.
Last week,
I understand that it's not a chronological order thing, but I'm going by this list that is updated. So I'm trying to stick to it to the best of my ability. The Hulu cancellation kind of fucked that up, but I'm still going to stick with it as best I can.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Keep us updated. So I have been watching. So I finished The Circle, season 3. So in 3 weeks, I watched all 3 seasons. I was fucking hooked, man. I was fucking hooked.
You're better
to the point where I'm actually debating on trying to apply for that show for season 4.
Do it.
Or 5, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about it. So if that happens,
you get on the show, then I will watch it. How about that?
Okay. You're going to have to, because then you're going to talk about it, because I won't be able to do recordings.
That's true.
While I'm gone, because they keep you, even if I'm out the first day, they keep you on site so you don't jabber about whatever. So I'll be gone for a couple weeks, at least until they get it out. But that would be a lot of fucking fun. So I finished that. We got into it. So how I describe it was season 1 was fun. Season 2 was catty. And season 3 was calculated. These motherfuckers, they in the middle of the season, they're sitting there still thinking this person, I need to rank them lower, because I need to be higher so I can try to get so-and-so off the show because I'm winning that money prize at the end. Whereas the first season when they were just like, hey, we're all friends, let's just have a good time. Oh no, you got voted off. What the fuck happened? Season 3, there was clear alliances and it was very entertaining,
And I'm sure it was not scripted at all behind the scenes.
Hey, I don't care. I had a good time I enjoyed myself sitting down on the couch just watching these. So in 3 weeks, I've watched all 3 seasons, and I'm gonna be on it. Season 4. If I'm not on the show, I'm gonna be on the thing because it was one of those shows that was coming out weekly on Netflix. So they didn't just drop the whole season at once. So, I'll be caught up on that one. That's my guilty pleasure. Another guilty pleasure was Dragon Ball Z. I'm watching that because I just want to burn.
Are you just going back and watching like the original?
Yep. So like I bought them all on Blu-ray.
Yes.
And so I just sat there. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just fucking watch them through start to finish. Which is funny because Mary will sit in this room with me while I'm watching. And she's like looking at her phone, and her commentary is really fucking funny because it's the classic, like, oh, here we go. Or she'll say the dumb shit where it's like, you clearly have no idea what I'm talking about, but there's one of the villains that I'm in the sagas now, and he's a bug-looking creature, and he has a tail. And on the end of his tail, he stabs like just regular humans, and he's absorbing their insides, and then it like sucks in the skin or whatever. Like he's using them to power up that way. So it's like a green tail, and at the end he has like a brown tip. Whatever. So I'm watching this, and he's like, I gotta get powerful. And Mary's like, well, I mean, it's nice to know that he has a condom on at least before he stabs people. So it's shit like that. So it's really entertaining for me because I already know what's happening. I've watched this shit like 100 times. So it's funny, and she's like, I don't want to watch this with you. Like, it's fucking stupid. But every once in a while she'll sit in here when I'm watching it, and then she'll make her commentary, which I wish I could record because that shit is really fucking funny.
Mary is wise. That shit is stupid.
Yeah. So aside from that, man, I've been watching Marvel What If. We'll talk about it. I'll actually rewatch it when you start watching it so we can go over it.
I'll let you know. But
I'm really enjoying it. We have one more episode next week, and then the season's done. And it's been some episodes where I'm like, this is whatever, and then there's other ones so it's like, this is really good. We'll talk about it more when you can actually start doing it.
Okay.
Aside from that, I guess I put down Ted Lasso finale. The finale's next week, so the penultimate episode was today, which was a fucking crazy shit. If you don't have Apple TV, man, I recommend it. They have some really fucking good shows on there, Ted Lasso being one of them. The other one is The Foundation. And this is based off of books that were written in the 1930s. And it's essentially about, it's the future. So we've already charted all of the galaxy, and things are now being told, or, like there's this empire. When you look at it, it looks very Star Wars. There's a planet that's just all city. There's, everything looks very gray and sharp edges like the Empire in Star Wars. And there's these mathematicians that are able to predict the future based on mathematics. And it sounds kind of boring the way I'm stating it. So, and I'm not doing it any justice, but check out the trailer for Foundation on Apple TV. The trailer hooked me. I watched the first episode. There's 3 total. And I was so excited about it that I picked up the first book on my Kindle. So I started reading the first book.
Interesting.
So it's...
Does Apple TV have a live TV option, or is it just...
No,
it's more like Netflix?
It's more like Netflix. It's more like Disney Plus. It's more like Disney Plus, where they do like the weekly shows.
Okay.
But these shows are really fucking good, man. Like we started watching The Morning Show, which deals with, it's very
Is that the
similar.
one with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very similar to what happened with Good Morning America with Matt Lauer and all that. That's what's happening in this. And obviously they're doing their own story, but like that's how it starts off with was Steve Carell. His character was fired, first thing in the morning. Like this is like 30 seconds into the first episode. You find out that he just got fired because he was sleeping with some assistants and stuff and at the TV station, and they came out and said that he forced themselves on it. So like he's dealing with that whole shit, and he was a co-host with Jennifer Aniston's character. And now she's trying to figure out where she goes as far as her career goes and her life goes, because they were together, not in a relationship, but they were partners for 15 years. And then he's being targeted as a predator, right? So now she's having to deal with that. And then she's having to deal with the network station trying to pull their shit, trying to, save face, essentially. And she's trying, and keep her career. It's a heavy show, right? So they started season 2. We're only on episode 2 of season 1. We can only watch one at a time because it's kind of like the Ozarks, where it's heavy. You know what I mean? With all the subject matter and everything that's happening, it's not like hey, this is an action-packed or a feel-good show where I can keep going. You know what I mean? Or like a dumb reality show where it's like, I need more. It's like, okay, I watched this one episode. I'm good. Let's go do something else. You know what I mean? But it's good. So I really like that. And then going back to the Foundation, I've already said what I was going to do, but so I'm watching on Apple TV, watching the Foundation, the morning show, Ted Lasso, getting ready to start Mythic Quest. I want to see with Jason Momoa. So like, dude, they have some high production shows on this fucking app. And I was surprised. I was completely ignoring it this whole time until I got 6 months free because they were doing a promo with PlayStation.
That's how they get you.
And that's how they got me, because I will pay for this once my 6 months is up for free.
Well, with the new TV we're going to get, because our current main TV in the house, we only have 2 TVs. One upstairs for the kids' play area, and then the one downstairs is our main. It's not even a smart TV. That's how old it is. Right. So with this new TV, might have to be something I look into downloading the app for on it.
It's good. If you can, get a deal or something. I know like with Verizon, I think they have a thing where they give you 3 months free, but if you do that, Ted Lasso should be your first show because it's really fucking good. Like, man, it's going to be hard.
Is that Jason Sudeikis?
Yep.
Okay.
And they just won a bunch of fucking awards. Like at the Emmys, I think, what was that award show that just happened? The Grammys or something?
Fuck if I know. I don't pay attention to them.
Anyway, he won an award for the lead. The show won for being, whatever show that they were, whatever they were up for. So like they won all kinds of awards, man. It's fucking crazy. This show is fan-fucking-tastic. It is so good. It's one of my favorite shows so far.
Yeah, well, when I get that new TV, like I said, I'm going to have to check this out. I know somebody that offered to let us use their Apple TV account to see if we liked it. So I might just take them up on it.
Yeah, you should.
I just don't want to get bogged down with a ton of shows when I'm still trying to power through the MCU.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if you set it up to where you watch one show here, like on one night, you know what I mean? That's what we're doing with the Foundation, because it's so new. We're trying to put that in between the other shows so we can be caught up and watch that weekly. And then Ted Lasso was weekly. And then the morning show, we're behind. So we're trying to watch that as frequently as we can. So I like the week to week scheduling because I don't feel like I'm behind. You know what I mean? It's like, great. I wish they spread it out so not all of it fucking drops on a Friday. But even if you do that, it's like, great, we'll watch this and this tonight, this, tomorrow, and then this on Sunday, or throughout the week. It's like, we'll catch it on a Tuesday. And it's nice because not a lot of people are talking about it on Facebook, so they're not spoiling shit.
Right.
So I like that. But Apple TV is definitely a service that I think a lot of people sleep on, myself included. And it's got some real fucking cool shows.
All right, I'll have to give it its fair shake then.
So
It's a shame it doesn't have live TV that would solve the Hulu problem for us.
right. I mean, it might. I can look into that and see what they got, because I see that they have a bunch of other live TV shows on there, like Impractical Jokers and stuff. And I know that that's not an Apple TV, product. So they might. I'll have to look into that.
No worries. We'll find out either way.
So,
So what's going on in the entertainment world?
So I don't know how much time we have so far. So I wanted to run by. So Scarlett Johansson settles a lawsuit with Disney. Did you see that?
I did see it. I didn't get a chance to read the details.
There actually isn't a whole lot of details. We don't know what they settled on.
I'm sure it's all non-disclosure.
Yeah, and I bet that it's going to be just like the setup like Shang-Chi, where it's like when we put out a movie, it's going to go X amount of days, in theater, so you can try to bring in the revenue that we promised you during your contract setup, your contract signing. So it's just nice.
They'll change future contracts.
Oh yeah,
sure.
They're going to change fucking hardcore.
Yeah, I understand why she filed that lawsuit, because her contract said XYZ, extenuating circumstances. I get it. COVID, theaters shut down, but a contract's a fucking contract. Pay her. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yep. So that's good.
It wasn't in Disney's control, but it wasn't in her control either. So pay her.
You shouldn't be punished for something that was completely out of everyone's control.
Yeah.
And you said that you were going to do it a certain way.
And it's not like it's going to break Disney to pay her what they had in the contract.
Right.
So I'm again, like you said, we don't know the details. I'm sure she got paid well. Good for her.
Yeah. So I wanted to run that by. The future of MCU is incoming. They are going to do a Disney Plus stream in November where they're going to talk about the future of the MCU and what they have planned, which I'm assuming is like the different phases and, anything like that, any sort of crossover, any sort of TV show. So I wanted to put that out there. I know we got some time. We got a month before they drop that out there. But one of the things that I've been seeing online, and it's kind of driving me crazy a little bit, is Daniel Craig being misquoted for what he said about James Bond and and there being a female James Bond. So have you seen this?
I have not. It's news to me.
He stated that he looks forward to these companies doing something with James Bond, and that there shouldn't be a female James Bond. There should be a role that's strong like a James Bond character for a female actor. And so
Judi Dench.
So people are coming out against that, saying like he says, women shouldn't be James Bond. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that, these companies can do better than make a female James Bond. So I wanted to ask, because I know you're a James Bond fan, right? Is like, what would you like to see, these studios, the MGM Grand and all that or whatever, do with James Bond or the 007 franchise?
In regards to his misquote?
No, just, moving forward, everyone's clamoring about like, doing a black James Bond or doing a woman James Bond. Like, I have an idea of what I would like to see, but I wanted to see if there was anything like that popped out at you.
Well,
right away.
Know Albert Broccoli's, I think, son and daughter, maybe just his daughter. I know that the family still has final ultimate control of the 007 James Bond character.
Right.
So I don't know how willing they are to break with the role that has been set out in the books, in the movies for 50 years. I don't know what they're willing to do.
Right.
But eventually a time will come when they are no longer here. Who knows who it falls to at that point, and what they do then? Anyone's guess. I think there's a lot of potential to do it. If they do it right, then it should be fine. No matter what they choose to do, make it a female, make it somebody black, like it won't matter. As long as, I think the only thing you can't change about James Bond is that he's British, right? But like you're never gonna have a Russian or a German or an American James Bond,
right?
Which is pretty much the only thing you cannot change. But if you were to somehow reveal that all of these things have taken place, like all the movies have taken place in the time that they were made and released, and that the reason that it's always a different person playing the same name, it's always a different person as James Bond, is because they either retired or were killed. And so they bring in somebody else and they give them that name and that designator 007. And then they go out and do missions. Right. So it would be an interesting twist, and I'd be fine with it because it kind of makes sense in the world of, spycraft and espionage. You wouldn't want enemy nations to be able to track somebody down. You want them to look at, okay, who's James Bond? Oh shit, this guy's been around for 73 years. Well, that's weird because he only looks 24.
Right.
So it makes sense from that confusion and counterintelligence aspect to just plug and play people with the same name and designator, but they're different people.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like what you're thinking. My idea for that was, I like, with the whole like 007 being a designator, you can do now this. You can do this for TV shows even. Do a 007 or, I don't know if they actually have a different name for that division aside from MI6, right?
It was the 00. It was the 00 program.
Okay, so
in MI6.
I mean, you can make something up, right? So I would like to see get rid of James Bond, and they've done this to a point. In the title, they don't call him James Bond, right? It's not James Bond in yada yada. It's whatever title is, and then they put 007 there. I would like to see if they replace it with anybody. It shouldn't be a James Bond name. It should be a 007 or a 00 agent. You could do different stories with any race, any gender of a 00, right? The 007, I mean, there's at least 6 other ones, right? I don't know if 007 was the only, the highest one that they got to, or if they go above that 008, 009, yada, yada. So, what's up?
What was Sean Bean's designator in GoldenEye? Was it 004?
I don't know.
Shit.
See.
Yeah, now we're gonna have to look it up because it's gonna bother me.
Yeah. So
I don't think there's ever been an answer to that question either of how high it goes. Conceivably, you could argue it could go as high as you want, right?
006.
006, okay.
He was a 006. But that would be awesome, right? Tell a story, and it doesn't have to be a 006 or 005. That would be cool. I would like to see that because, I heard this on the Kind of Funny podcast. One of the guys were talking about this, where he's like, to be a 00 agent, you have to be a badass.
Mm-hmm.
So, why aren't we seeing more of that? That would be cool. His idea, one of the guys' idea was to do a TV show and then just be called, you'll come up with a title, right? And then season 1 would be 001, and you'd follow that guy around or that person around. And then season 2, and then you go all the way up to, where James Bond enters. And I guess it wouldn't have to be a James Bond because I like the Daniel Craig layout. But I mean, if they've been rebooting this character, or not rebooting, but filling in a different person as the James Bond character. So that sounded kind of cool. But I would like to see different agents. I've seen James Bond get almost taken out by different agents that, I think it was in Spectre where he got shot off a train. You know what I mean? So it's possible he could have died a couple times, but it's possible that there's other agents that we'd like to see in that universe. And I think it'd be really fucking cool if it's not a movie, a TV show. You know, so it's like, don't do a James Bond female, do a female 00, and let's watch her kick some serious ass. You know
I think that would be a really good way to approach it.
Yeah. That would make, I think, almost everybody would be happy with that, because you're not, you know, those people that are like, well, James Bond is a man, right? You're not tapping into that. You're not tapping into these people. You're giving this character, and this is where I think Daniel Craig was, what he was saying was, do better. And you could make these characters for these people and then make this story fit around there. Make a 006, make a 005, make a 00 agent that's badass. Maybe Idris Elba. Yes, thank you. Maybe he's a 00, and then the female he teams up with, or goes on a mission with, whatever, is a 00. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really fucking neat, and you could open up a lot of different stories, and you can do that thing where they cross over a lot and do different, they're in different parts of the world.
Like the MCU, but for 00s.
That would be fucking neat.
That would be kind of cool.
You know what I mean?
Like each one has their own specialty or something like that.
Yep. They do that in the thing now. That's how you come up with people like Q. You know what I mean? And M and all that. Like, they all have their own details, and everybody's got to start somewhere. If you're going to take over the agency, you have to be, I would think, a 00 that survived long enough to where you can retire, but you're retiring from the field, not the agency. And that's how you become M, or, any sort of person like that.
I like it. And I think that has a lot more potential long term, because you could do things where, like, okay, 002 has a movie, right? And this is the villain, and you find out a little bit of information about him and how he's connected to this other person, but we don't really know much about them. Oh, the next movie's coming out. Oh, that's going to be 00. It's going to be 007, let's say. Yeah. And his villain in this movie is in the same organization as 002's villain. Oh, now 005 is coming in, and he's tracking down somebody that's a terrorist financier, and that guy's connected to these other two guys. Oh, now we have a conspiracy going,
and you have your opposing groups. I have Sean Bean's character up for 00, and for GoldenEye, and I see that he was 006, Janice, and Alpha 1. His affiliations were MI6 when he was a 00. And Janice Syndicate. That could be an opposing threat to the MI6 that could be the war. That could be, you know what I mean? There's a lot you could do with that. I think it's time to branch out into that, expand the lore a little bit more than just one man doing some crazy shit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually really like it. Like, just sitting here discussing it, there's so many possibilities that they could really expand on, and if they did it right, make everyone happy. Yeah. Because like you said, and even like I was saying, like, okay, 007 is James Bond. Like, those two are linked. That is the identity that's given to whoever 007 is, right?
Right.
Well, it's James Bond. James is not a female's name. So,
right.
Okay, cool. 007 will always be a British man.
Right.
001 doesn't need to be.
Yeah. 004, that could be whatever. It could
I guess we've established that 006 will also be a British male. Like, that's established in canon.
Yeah, you can also change some of that, I would think, because, like, yeah, he's a 006, but you're assuming that everybody that's a 00 is a male.
Well, I would say that they would have a lot more free range with anything that hasn't been
specifically shown
or talked about. So Sean Bean's character, that's established, that's canon, that's one of the major movies in the franchise.
Right.
You shouldn't change that at this point. That because if you're going to go the route of 007 is James Bond, so it's always going to be a man,
right?
You would not be able to. If you're going to go with that,
if you're going to do it for one, you got to
007.
kind of do it for the others.
But it's even then, okay, so you have 2 that are established. Maybe a third. There might be a third one lurking out there that was mentioned at some point that I can't think of. Okay, that's 3. Let's say at most the 00 program includes 9. That's only a third. You still have 66% of all the 00s that you can do whatever you want with.
Right.
So it's not really that limiting. But again, it comes back to who owns the IP, who has the final say, and what are they willing to do or not do.
Yeah. Looking at the Wikipedia or the Wikipedia, 001 is unidentified for 2, 3, 4, 5. They're even saying, oh, you know what? Never mind. They actually have different 00s, different 00 names. So like the first 001 is unidentified. An apparent 001 is seated to the far left of James Bond during the 00 section briefing in the 1965 film Thunderball. So they appear there. We don't know their name. Then they have Edward Don, referenced in the Raymond Benson novel Double Shot. So it depends on how you want to do it, I guess. But I think that it would be awesome. And you can reboot the whole series if you really wanted to. And again, you can always leave James Bond as a 007 because that's what everybody knows since the fucking dawn of time,
so
essentially.
Fucking established that why would you change it?
And even then, that it would be cool if you were to do these 00 movies and then you introduce like a young person that ends up taking the mantle, James Bond. You know what I mean?
You know what else they could do? Okay, you're a 00. What about single O? What about 07? They're like junior officers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know too much about the lore to talk about that, 'cause I don't know if they actually have that, but that's an interesting idea.
Not to my knowledge.
Like a level.
But yeah, like, okay, you're Agent 7, you're Agent 07, and you're Agent 007. Like, there's levels, there's tiers that you can work through. Because in Casino Royale, they were talking about how he earned his 007 designation. It was on a mission. I don't remember the specifics. It's been several years since I've seen the movie. But he completed a mission. When he got back, they're like, okay, congratulations, you're a 00 now. Okay, what was he before? They could work with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot they could build on.
So the same wiki, right? I'm looking at 007. There was a 007 before James Bond. So he's unidentified. But in Anthony Horowitz's 2018 James Bond continuation novel, Forever and a Day, the 007 preceding James Bond was shot 3 times and killed on assignment in the south of France in the year of 1950. His body was discovered in the waters of Marseille. Yeah. This man was the first to hold the 007 title and was the first batch of 00 agents. And he was a personal friend of James Bond before his death. So you like other people have had
you can also say, well, that's not canon. That's fan fiction.
Right. Well, yeah. And depending on how they end this movie, if James Bond dies, you could just take over and be like, the movie is 007.
Right.
And then start exploring it that way, where it's like a continuation, but also a soft reboot, where you start exploring the world, you start seeing the other 00 agents, and then maybe like one of them gets a TV show on HBO or at this point, Apple TV, and it's like fucking solid. You know what I mean? And then, it's kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Marvel movies. You can make it a little bit better, but they still talk to each other, The Loki TV show or Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're doing that. Marvel's doing that, where TV shows and movies are now blending in as a storytelling medium.
Yeah, there's a lot that they could do if they wanted to. I'm just not sure MGM's going to.
Right. I mean, it would show them evolving. They would have a lot of spin-off properties that could make them a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Again, if they did it right and they had the right people running it.
So let's create a pitch. Let's go in there, man. We can write this shit.
We probably could, honestly. I mean, we'd have to do a lot of reading to catch up on all the books, all the movies, all the lore. But
we could do it.
I feel like we probably could make it.
Yeah. I see that there's a 0013, Bryony Thorne, a female 00 agent who appears in the comic strip Fear Faced, published in 1971.
There you go. Already established.
And she was being framed as a double agent for China. Like, that shit's fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah. See, it's already been established if you just know the lore.
We just got to fucking run with it, man. We can do it. All right. So that's cool. I like that. I wanted to talk about that one for a little while now. So that is all for screen time.
Yeah.
So let's get our question in for Q&A with DNA.
With D&A.
So I don't know if you have the cards.
Yes, I do.
I still can't see you properly on the video. So if you want to shoot me a text and then you can ask me first while I receive that.
All right. Give me uno momento and I will.
Uno momento.
All right. En route. Your question, sir, will be: how do you define success?
Excuse me, I had to sneeze.
Oh, well. Everyone appreciates you muting that.
Yeah. How do I define success?
Yeah. Money, wealth, power, happiness.
I think a little bit of everything, all of that. Being able to find a way to support yourself is a form of success, right? But say for this show, what would make this show successful? I think monetary would make it successful. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We build up something to where we can expand shows. We can actually start making this, the day job. That would be successful. For like when I do the comic stuff, it's successful when I see a kid running up to the table and he's very excited about the comic. It's a $3 book. You know what I mean? But his excitement is success for that. So I think it's a little bit of everything. And I think it all depends on what it is that you're doing. Is successful? How's your relationship? Is your relationship successful? I mean, are you happy? Are you content? Do you find something new every day or every other day? Do you laugh? You know what I mean? There's certain levels of success in your personal life that way. So it's a little bit of everything, even though that might be a cop-out answer. I hope that my explanations kind of show how I'm seeing that.
Hey, and it's an answer nonetheless, and I think it's a valid answer. Like, it really depends on context, I would say. Just like you said, with the comic stuff, like you're not making Marvel and DC money, right? Doing what you do, but that doesn't mean that you're not feeling successful when you do it because of those people that are excited for it and come to talk to you and come to get your newest editions or things of that nature. Right. So it really depends. Like, would Jeff Bezos consider Amazon a success? Like, if it had failed back in like 2000 with the .com bubble and folded, would he have considered that a success because he got it running for X amount of years and he had a good time doing it?
Right.
Probably not, because that was a capital gaining venture. Like the point was to make money. So that's your measure of success.
Right.
So I think it really depends on the context. Like if you have a family and you're raising kids, success is not making money through your family.
Right.
Success is everyone's happy, everyone's healthy.
Yeah. Setting them up to be able to be on their own, to have their own family. That's success.
Yeah. So again, it really depends on context. So you may think your answer was a cop out, but I think it's all fair points.
When I write a novel, it has to be number one on the bestsellers list, or it's not a success. That's all I'm going to define that. I'm putting that out there.
It depends on what you're writing it for, though.
Right.
Are you writing it so that you can add to humanity's collective knowledge and have it stored away to be referenced at a later time by somebody that may need it for some reason during their research? Or Are you writing it to entertain people? Are you
if I write a novel and it's entertaining to people, even like say 10 people, it's not going to be successful to the company that publishes it, but it'll be successful to me. And there's that success too. It's successful that I did it. It's published. It's on a store shelf. You know what I mean? I can sign it. I can, show up at a bookstore or a seminar or whatever and read an excerpt for it. That's success. That's a level of success. You know what I mean? That's a version of success.
Again, it depends on why you're doing it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it to make money, then that's your measure. That's what you use to gauge it.
Yeah.
I know people that have written. I know people that have written books and then self-published, and they're the only people that have copies because they want to give it to people they know.
Yeah.
They wrote for pleasure of writing, and that's success to them.
Yep. Fucking A, man. All right.
What you got?
All right. Dan Singleton.
Yes, sir.
What would you miss most about your home if you were to move?
Probably all of the upgrades that we've done since we've lived here, which there's nothing truly major. It's a lot of little things.
Right.
And a lot of the little things I've done myself. We've had two major things where we had to replace both of our air conditioner units. Whatever. That's not something I'm emotionally attached to.
Right.
But the things I've done myself to do the improvements, I think I would miss. And again, It's nothing major. It's all a lot of little things, like improving light fixtures, installing ceiling fans in every room, painting walls.
You found success in your house.
I did a huge project in my garage last year. I put up racks and organizational hooks. I redid my workbench area. So just a huge organization project that if we moved, I wouldn't be able to take almost any of it with me. The workbench itself would come, but that'd be it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's a lot of little things like that I think I would miss most about this particular house if we moved. And they're all things that can be replicated wherever we would end up.
Yeah.
It would just take a lot of time and a little bit of money. And
so you would miss that accomplishment that you did while you were there.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. All right.
I would miss the success I've had in making my home more livable.
Yep. Fuck. Well, we're all there, man. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jabberbox episode 15. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show and get the shows early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy with us. Please find us and subscribe to us over on YouTube or any of the podcast services and rate us to help us grow the show into something bigger and better. Dan, it's always been a pleasure.
Likewise.
And until next time, take care of yourselves.
Adios. See you next week.